everyone, I am back with your weekly Astro weather. I just recorded 2 videos and didn't realize that I hadn't put this in, so hopefully the sound quality on this video will be better than the last 2 videos I made. So let's try and see how that goes. I want to thank you for your patience. I haven't done this a couple of weeks because I got sick with a very bad cold. It started in my throat, I couldn't talk, I had no energy, and then it kind of moved into my chest and it just seemed to kind of stick there, and I had a hard time getting it to go away. So I want to thank you for your patience. I'm going to cover a little bit of some of the things that have happened in the past couple of weeks. We've had some planets shifting signs, and then I'm going to go into what's going on for this coming week as well. And as always, just a reminder, if you are interested, I do have astrology birth charts available, interpretations on my Etsy if you want to go there. And I also do newsletters for the full moon and the new moon to let you know kind of what's going on for each of those. Totally free if you want to sign up for that on my website. So anyway, let's get started. So what's happened over the past couple of weeks? What are the major things? The first thing was on February 3rd, we had Venus move into the sign of Capricorn. This is a sign that she's kind of so-so with because it is like an earth sign. She's pretty happy in Sagittarius. In Capricorn, she's a little bit more serious, a little bit more somber, a lot more classically sort of focused. Like her taste may be a little bit more conservative. Those with Venus in Capricorn tend to have more traditional tastes when it comes to aesthetics. They might really like historical or sort of very classic, clean sort of lines and things. When it comes to the way they dress, they might dress a little more conservatively. When it comes to romance, they tend to like a little bit more of a traditional wooing. Nothing wrong with those things. They like to take their time. That's all. So Venus in Capricorn, let's look at the card for this, says convention. So it is about sort of being conservative and conventional. We've got the house there, very solid, very stable, nothing sort of overly dramatic or risky, nothing like that. So definitely our Venus energies become a little more stable, a little more subdued over the past while. Then we had on the 10th, we had Mercury move into the sign of Pisces. So Mercury went from Aquarius, where it's very, our communication style is very questioning. We're very independent. We like to say what we think. We might be more curious about things. Definitely coincides with social media, with communicating through the computer. Now it's in Pisces. So this is really about communication through the arts, communication about our feelings. We may not be as precise about what we think, but we're definitely communicating things in an emotive and emotional way. And so here it has inspiration. Pisces rules things like music and dance and photography. So that's why communication of what we're feeling, because Pisces is a water sign, we can do that better through music, through song and dance. So it's really about communicating our creative side over the next while, communicating how we feel, communicating our emotions. And that's something that's gonna kind of come through because we do have a Mercury retrograde coming up soon. So it's going to be in Pisces for a little while. The next thing we had was Juno, which is an asteroid, move into Gemini on February 12th. So Juno rules our partnerships. It rules, Venus rules romance in general. Juno is about our soulmate, our one true love, our partner in life. And so Juno's moved into Gemini, meaning that there's going to be a lot more communication between you and your partner, a lot more talk. You want to keep each other interested too. So it's really about sort of having fun, exploring things, asking questions, being curious, doing things that are maybe a little outside the box, but making sure that you're communicating and talking to each other about things and about your thoughts. Then we had Mars. Mars moved into the sign of Taurus. So we've had all the personal planets. We have Sun changing sign this week. We have Mercury, Venus, Mars. So a lot of the energies shifted, over the past couple of weeks, and will continue to shift over the next couple of weeks. So we had Mars move into Taurus on Thursday, February 14th, on Valentine's Day. So Mars is very happy in Aries because Aries is its home sign, and Aries is all about like energy and newness and good starts and getting stuff done, and also has a bit of an aggressive factor in there and taking risks and taking chances. Taurus energy, though, is the opposite. It's very slow and steady. It thinks about things first. It thinks about the long term. It's not about jumping into things. And so Mars isn't quite as happy in that sign. But what it does give us is energy for the long term. It's a really great time to put energy into long-term projects and to pace ourselves better. Sometimes when we start things, we start with very Aries type energy where we're like, yes, I've got to do this thing and I'm going to put in all this time, and then we get burnt out. And so Taurus is asking us to kind of slow down and to pace ourselves a little bit better. So Mars in Taurus, here it says defense. So it's not about aggression. It's not about, because Mars is a warrior, it's not about attacking. It's about defending ourselves. It's about putting up good boundaries, putting up, good sort of, good, I can't think of any other word but boundaries. But it's putting the fences up. It's making sure everything's good. It's taking care of ourselves without being aggressive towards others. So that's the kind of energy for the next 2 months that's really going on. So slow and steady, my people, slow and steady. So let's get on with this week. It is a busy week, and we do have some headlines. We do have some things that are going on for the week. The first headline I would say here is that we have a full moon. We have a full moon at 0 degrees of Virgo, right at the start of Virgo, on Tuesday, February 19th at 9:45 a.m. Central Time. A reminder, all times are in Central Time. Please adjust for your time zone as you need. So we do have a full moon in the sign of Virgo. This is actually like a very sort of active and energetic kind of full moon. We do have, the Mars and Uranus conjunction going on. There's a lot of energy in this full moon. It's also a super moon. And the super moon, what it really means is that, as the moon orbits sort of around the Earth, there's times where it's a little bit closer and a little farther away. So it's a little bit closer, so it appears bigger in the sky when it rises. And so some people, especially if you're sensitive to lunar energy, might feel the full moon a little bit more. So Virgo's opposite Pisces, and when a full moon happens, the sun is in the opposite sign that the moon is in. So sun is in Pisces and moon is in Virgo. So what's happening in the full moon is it's really asking us to integrate sort of the Pisces dreams, the dreams that we have, with the practical day-to-day how we're going to do that. And so intentions that we've set in these areas, especially on the new moon earlier in the month, is asking us, like, how are you going to practically manifest that? What are you going to actually do about that? How are you going to plan that out? And so the full moon's asking us to kind of look at those energies and look at how we're going to practically work on things, our dreams, our big goals, the things we really want, that maybe we haven't really worked out what we're going to do or how we're going to get there. And not that we need to know all the steps, but what are we going to do day to day right now to try to get ourselves towards that goal? So that's the energy that's kind of going on for the full moon on Tuesday. The other thing that we have, headline that we have, is we have the sun moving into the sign of Pisces on Monday at 5:04 p.m. So sun is going to be at 0 degrees of Pisces, moon is going to be at 0 degrees of Virgo. So sun goes from Aries, where we have a lot of energy, goes from Aquarius, where, again, we're very rebellious, we kind of want to do our own thing, go our own way, we're going to take on the new year, all that kind of stuff, to kind of a more dreamy type of energy. So sun, I'm going to find here, got the moon signs. Sun goes from idealism of Aquarius to vision, which is sun in Pisces. See, we've got the eye up there, we've got the sun setting over the water and the fox here. So it's really asking us what our big dreams are. What are our big dreams? What are our big goals? Asking us to express ourselves more emotionally, to express ourselves through art and music and dance. It's asking us to look at those aspects of our lives, spirituality as well. There's a lot more focus on these kind of dreamy, nebulous type energies. And that's why, like, the full moon is really asking us to look at some of the details that are going on. So that's happening on Monday. So Monday's a busy day, let me tell you. So we've got that going on Monday. Other headlines include Chiron. Oh, yeah, Chiron. And then I just want to make a note about about Athena. Athena, the asteroid that's in charge of how we strategize, how we think about things. She's also in charge of career women, and she's going into retrograde on Monday as well. And she's going to be trining Uranus all this week. So when a planet goes retrograde, it often asks us to reflect on what's happened since it went forward. So she is really asking us to look at how we're planning things in our lives. How are we organizing our time? How are we organizing things for the long term? She may also be asking us to reflect upon our career. She is at, so you know, she's at 29 degrees of Libra. So she doesn't get into Scorpio. She ends at Libra and then she's going backwards through it. Especially if we have had career plans that we are working with others on. She's asking us to reflect on those and to really look at those and see, maybe we can adjust things. And particularly the trine with Uranus, we may have some breakthrough ideas about how we can rework things and redo things this week. Chiron moves into Aries, which is a big deal because Chiron moves pretty slow. Chiron he's not really an asteroid. He's kind of a dwarf planet. He's between Uranus and Saturn, and he is the wounded healer. So he works on things where anywhere we have wounds, anywhere we have old junk that we haven't dealt with, he's where we hurt the most, but also where we become stronger as we get older and where we can help others. And he's moving into Aries. And I'm going to do a whole thing on my Patreon about Chiron and talking about it. So if you want to go over there, you can. But Chiron, very important, the wounded healer, moving into sign of Aries. He changes signs every 8 to 12 years. He's got kind of a weird orbit, so it depends. So for the last 8 years or so, he's been in the sign of Pisces, where he's really been asking us to work on our spiritual wounds. And now he's in Aries. And so Aries is about our sense of identity, our sense of self, our sense of self-expression. And so he's really going to be asking us to work on things, especially if we are one of those people like me who are born with Chiron in Aries. So those of us that are kind of in our 40s, maybe some people in the early 50s, Chiron issues are going to be coming up over the next few years. So it's a big shift. It's a big deal that's happening on Monday. So I'm running out of time, so I'm going to quickly go through what's happening this week. So on Monday we have the moon starts in the sign of Leo. And then we have on Monday the sun moving into the sign of Pisces, which we already talked about. The sun has a sextile with Uranus on that day, so we may have some really original and creative ideas come up for us. The sun trines Athena as well, so it is a good day to strategize with any of those insights, any of those original ideas. Venus has a conjunction with Saturn, which kind of lends a more somber tone to things, but it is a really good day to organize a party or a get-together, to organize happier things for the future. Mars has a square with Saturn, so there may be extra responsibilities that are put on our plate. We may have to kind of work a little harder than maybe originally thought we had to during the day. And Mars has a conjunction with Juno. So watch for any arguments with your partner. There's aggressive energy there, but it is really good for sex. And if you have to get something physical done with your partner, if you're moving objects, moving furniture around or something, it's a good day to use some Mars energy. Good day to exercise with your partner as well. On Tuesday, the moon has a void at 7:51 a.m. and then moves into Virgo at 8:47 a.m. Central Time. And we have the full moon at 9:45 a.m. and we did talk about that. Mercury has a conjunction with Neptune, so there's some confusion around communication. It is a good day for communicating through like song and dance, but not a great day for detailed things. There is some confusion there, so be kind to others if there's a mix-up of some kind. Venus also has a sextile with Saturn, so it is a good day again for planning things for the future. So, if you can kind of work out some of those miscommunications, you can actually get something organized. So watch for that on the Tuesday. On Wednesday, we have a void moon at 7:52 p.m. So most of the day is in the sign of Virgo. And I think that's it for Wednesday. Thursday, the moon remains in a void. So Thursday's just kind of a go with the flow. Nothing super crazy happening on that day. It is kind of like a a more relaxed day. And then we have Moon moving into the sign of Libra on Friday at 8. Oh no, it's moves in on Thursday. I'm going to have to do a part 2